Okay.
Hey, look, we're live streaming again.
Bum.
It's amazing that we're still able to do this on episode 56 of Slurp Toast, a podcast. I never get tired of
All
saying
right, I
that. I
decided to
enjoyed.
sit up. It was starting to hurt my back.
The joys of age. I
No,
want to
no,
slouch,
it's
but
a
it
bad
hurts
angle.
things.
Huh?
I want to slouch, but it hurts.
It was a bad. It was
As I
a it
was.
was a slouch and a twist. So after a while, it was like the middle of your back locks up, and yeah,
Yeah, but it also might have just given this episode a title: a slouch and a twist.
a slouch and a twist. Order that the next time you're out and see what you get. Bartender rolls up. What can you get you? I
So
want to
no,
get a slouch with a twist, please.
you might get kicked off your stool. I don't know. Could go either way.
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
So it's been like a month since we did this. I wonder what's going on.
Has it been that long?
What have you been up to? I know what I've been. Yeah, I was just
busy,
looking.
busy,
It says
busy.
our last episode was recorded on. We missed one.
Oh, okay.
It's been kind of chaosy around here. Um, yeah. So what are we talk?
Okay, I'm catching like every third word of that.
Hang on. There, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay.
Stupid thing is sitting right next to me, and I don't know why it's doing that. But anyway, what have you been up to for the last month? What exciting is going
Busy.
on in Steve Land?
Get a new kitchen.
A whole new kitchen?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So has that started? Has the demolition begun?
Demolition is over. It was a one-day thing. And we took out the stove, a dishwasher, and all the cabinets and put them in the garage, and I sold them 2 days later.
Nice.
Yes.
So did you do the remodel yourself? How did it work?
No.
That's a big one.
We had somebody. That is a big one. So we got a contractor who's done some work around the house. Came out. We actually picked out cabinets back in October, and they finally came in like 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Holy cow!
So and then you get the contractor and the cabinet maker in January was like, hey, they're done. Contractor's like, they're not done. They're not painted yet. Cabinet maker's like, and I was like, you know what, guys, I don't care. Just give me a date. And then they called Kristen and like, we're coming out next Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I know what I'm doing this weekend, right?
What's that?
That's how that goes.
Exactly.
Oh, they're coming Tuesday.
Taking all the cabinets out. Yeah.
So have we done this since we had the big freeze and I had to butcher all the trees? I don't think we have.
Probably not. It might be one of the reasons that we haven't done this.
That actually probably is why. So we had this big freeze, and we have like 10 live oaks in our yard.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like gunfire down up, and there's live oaks all the way to my street. And it was like gunfire as those things started breaking under the weight of the ice, just pap, 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 pap. So I spent all of a Saturday on a ladder with my chainsaw, cutting limbs down, cutting trees down, cutting limbs off of trees, and cutting limbs down for firewood and or hauling away. And the very last fucking limb got me. I was like literally on at the very top of my extension ladder with my little chainsaw, and I didn't realize how that branch was. It looked like it was just broken off, and I just need to finish cutting it. And it was actually pretty well wedged. So as soon as my chainsaw went through the branch, it was wow! You can see my new scar actually right there. See it?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Hit my sunglasses, drove them into my face. I had this lovely shiner and slash under my eye. So yeah, I have this new badass scar from the freeze cleanup. I'm kind of digging that.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't
So
do pickup sticks all winter, so we did that one day, and I started a little fire in the backyard, and they burned them all up.
there was
I got a
so
lovely
there was
little
so
smoke
many.
ring. If you were to cut me in half, you would have seen a smoke ring. So
Nice. Very nice.
yeah.
There were so many trees down in my neighborhood, so much stuff piled up. We got a letter from the homeowners association. You're not allowed to have a burn pile in your yard because they just knew we were about to start lighting shit on fire.
Oh yeah. Well, my excuse has always been if I ever get busted for this, I'm going to say if that's the case, then the Target within city limits should not be allowed to sell. What are you doing?
Hello,
Dinner? Yeah.
that's your daughter?
Should not be allowed to sell the whatchamacallits, the little
Fire
burn
pits.
pits. Yeah,
Fire
little
pits.
fire
Yeah.
pits. So I think that you've allowed Target to bring this into the neighborhood, and truly, it's all on you. You know?
I would have gotten together like literally there was like my next door neighbor was out with his chainsaw and his teenage son. Laura and I were out. The guy next door had a crew cutting their trees down. The guy who's two houses down who used to play football for UT in the 60s was out cutting his down. I'm like, we should have just piled them all up in the middle of the street and torched that shit. It would have saved us all so much time.
It does. And that's the thing. And I also do this. We keep a bag of like hot dogs and s'more stuff ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I figure if the fire department ever shows up, it's just like throw a hot dog on a stick. It's like, what are you guys doing? No, we're just cooking lunch, man. Cooking lunch.
After we stacked up all that stuff in the corner of the yard, I looked at Laura and I said, I understand why your stepfather enjoyed his burn pile out on the ranch now. He's
Very satisfying.
it up, throws that shit open flame.
That's right. Push it all into one corner, light it on fire, away she goes.
There we go. Okay. Fire.
A couple hours later, you're done. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. All right. I wanted to ask you something. I have one of my things written down and you're my go-to guy. So I'm sure you've seen the story about Funko like burying $30 million worth of inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Have we reached market saturation now? The one I've been predicting for the last 5 years? Are we there now? Or did they just overproduce things that don't sell? What
they've over.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I think they just. Okay, so a friend of mine has a website, or he did. There was like called Jaffo, just another Funko Observer. And so about 5 years ago, he interviews Brian Marotti, the CEO of Funko, and kind of asks him a couple questions like where you want to be in 5 years and this and that, and he makes some comments about wanting to be $1 billion company, and I don't want to be around forever, right? And at this point, Funko sales are probably around $300 to $400 million a year. And so over the next 4 or 5 years, Funko becomes a $1 billion company. And then Brian basically, yeah, they did. They sell a little over $1 billion worth of shit. Yeah, when you do the math, it just blows your mind because you got to divide $1 billion by like the wholesale cost of like $6. That gives you roughly the amount of toys that they have to sell.
That's insane.
A year. It is insane. But anyway, Funko becomes $1 billion company, and Brian walks away. And I think that they had in their minds that that sales thing was just always going to go up, and that people, no matter how many Deadpool, Batman, Spider-Man variations you made, like any toy company, Jungle Batman, Jungle Spider-Man, Stuffed Spider-Man, Disco Batman, just
see-through Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. You basically got to a point where, they were producing too much, way too much. And I've always maintained that in order to be $1 billion company year after year after year, basically every man, woman, and child in America has to become a Funko collector at some point. Uh,
They had to
and
have gotten close. I mean,
they had to have
based
gotten
on the
close,
sheer
yeah.
volume.
Oh yeah, but you see like the mega collectors who'd have like, a wall, and I'm on some of these groups are like, people like just got my 2000th pop. And you're like, 2000? Discriminate, man. Just um
That's a
focus,
lot of
focus.
greenbacks. Yeah.
At $10
You
a
can't
pop,
love them
I mean,
all.
no, you
Yeah.
can't.
I mean,
And
I'm just doing
and
the
and
math. 10 to 12. It's like that's $1,000,000, right?
that's a lot
Is
of
my math
money.
off? It's
What did you say
close.
it was?
It's like a quarter
10,000. Oh,
10 2000 at 10. No, 25,000. My math was off. It's been a
yeah.
long day.
Okay.
I just got back from a trip out of town and I spent all day in the books. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
it's been a long day.
But yeah, so I think what ended up happening is that they just, and I think, okay, so like during COVID, their supply chain tightened up and everybody bought everything that was released because they were just jonesing for a Funko hookup. And I know that when I sold
Mhm.
a bunch of stuff online during COVID, I made money hand over fist selling crap. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's a $5 pop, and I was getting $20 for them.
Nice.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, I made a lot of money in that little COVID period. um, and I didn't even sell anything good. That was the
That's the
worst
best
part.
time, right? When
Yeah,
you sell stuff
when
that
you
you
sell,
don't want and you sell it at a
when you
premium. That's awesome.
yeah, when you sell crap at a premium. So anyway, I think then the
The world
stimmy
of
checks
spring
end.
figures, and you can sell any one of those. I said it's like when
What
the
you
world
kind of
of Springfield Simpsons things were so. I said it's like when the
Oh
world
yeah,
of
yeah,
Springfield figures were so hot, and you could just pick up any one of those and sell them for at least twice what you paid for it.
exactly. And then that's what happened. But
Can
so
you hear me?
basically, then yeah, I can.
And,
Yeah, your video is cutting
okay,
in and
cool.
out a little bit.
All right. So,
Mhm.
are they really going to? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Are they really going to just dump? Are they not going to I mean, they're getting some bad press for the press for the. We're just going to dump the inventory. I mean, could they not just don't? I'm kind of the mind. Couldn't they just take the tax write off? I mean, I'm
Well,
sure there's some financial accounting wrangling going on there, but
the way I look at it is that somebody said that they have to provide, said, posited, whatever, because uh, they are not licensed to create donations. They're licensed to create sales. And so I kind of get the impression that they're
catch.
in a
Gotcha.
situation where they have to destroy and provide proof to the licensor that they aren't selling them, that they are in fact destroying them, and so they don't owe them for because you figure the licensor probably knows that they made 25,000. I don't know,
Oh,
25,000.
yeah, they have to report that, I'm sure.
Yeah, so like the licensor knows they made 25,000 Philly Fanatics, okay?
B.
And
Arthur's.
so they're expecting, huh? Yeah. So they're going along the lines and going, okay, well, I get 30 cents or 20 cents or whatever my royalty is on that sale, and so I'm expecting to get X number of dollars, and then so Funko would probably have to provide them proof that nope, I didn't sell them. We destroyed them, and here's the video, and here's the certificate. Like when you shred documents, and the shredder gives you a document that says we abide by the International Shredders Agreement, and every one of your pieces was shredded in accordance with best practices or best shredding practices or
Yeah,
something
that
like
makes
that.
sense. It does.
And so it's not the
Yeah,
first
that makes
time that.
sense.
Mhm. And it's not the first time they've taken like a big write off on extra inventory. Um, I want to say maybe 5 years ago or so. They hit their big growth spurt. They got to the end of the year and they ended up like donating $5 million worth of pops to local charities there in the Seattle area.
Mhm.
Um, so it's not like the first time that it's happened.
Okay.
Yeah, they're getting horrible press, horrible press, and I honestly think some of that's driven by people who are like, I fucking hate these Funko guys. Boom, they destroy.
That and oh, they should just give them to me. The neckbeards are
Yeah.
also up in arms. I'm like, you know
Well,
what?
they
It's a
could discount
business.
them. Yeah, and it's like there probably are accounting reasons for doing it this way.
Yeah,
You know.
there certainly are. I mean, it's a inventory control situation as well. I mean, they
Yeah.
can't just write them down. I mean, they
No,
gotta.
they have to do something with them after they write them down. So, it's not a to me, it's not a big deal. Probably because if they're destroying it, it's because nobody bought it. So,
Well, that's the thing. All the voices that are like, you should just give them to the collectors. Well, if you had bought them, they
been
wouldn't
a
be sitting on a
collector.
shelf in a warehouse, in a storage unit, in a tractor
You
trailer
know,
somewhere.
exactly. That's what they apparently were
That's
doing.
how
Was storing
commerce
them.
works. You have to buy all of
Mhm.
it, not just the ones you want.
Exactly. So, some people are up in arms. On a positive note, maybe it'll flush some of the flippers and the hustlers out of it. You know, thinking, oh well, Funko
Yeah.
just destroyed 30 million. The other way to look at it
Or it
is
could
that
make it
maybe they,
worse.
or it could make it worse, or if
I
you're a
mean,
collector
you'll have
and they,
those idiot flippers will go, well, there's 30 million less pieces. Yes, but again, those 30 million pieces were sitting in inventory. They weren't cases. Nobody was buying them. So if you're like hanging your hat on the see-through
scarcity, yeah,
R2D2, I think you're on the wrong. You're doing this wrong. I don't know.
yeah, I
Yeah.
would agree with that because I don't. I mean, I have not bought like a new pop in, I don't know, months because nothing out there interests me.
Yeah, I look
Now
at
that
them. I'm
being
like,
said,
eh.
yeah, I mean, there's a couple that I bought like they do these dumb treatments like they do black light and that's been
Mm.
overplayed. Their new thing is faceted, and it's like, what it doesn't look like a jewel. It's still painted. It's not. God damn it, guys.
Is
I
it
know
like
where
the
the next
old
30 million.
they used to have those letters when we were kids that you put on a T-shirt that were like prismy? Are they just putting stickers on them?
No, they're actually they're flattening out the edges, and you're just kind of looking at it going, ah, shit. Here's the next $30 million worth of stuff
Isn't
to
that
look
off
at.
brand?
Yeah, who knows anymore? But one of the treatments they did was like a wood tone figures, where they either you know dipped them or painted them to look like wood, and so they
Mm-hmm.
did a Pinocchio like that. And I thought, well, that's a fun one because I've always liked Pinocchio. It's one of my
Oh,
favorite
I
Disney
thought
movies.
you were gonna say it was all veiny. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no.
Sometimes they're just
But
for
if you
me.
want to go, wait a minute. If you want to go down that route, you need to look at the Gabba Gabba Hey Pops. Okay, because one of the
Oh
characters
yeah. Uh-huh.
looks like a
Yeah.
cactus with bumps on it, and the
Yeah. It's a
prototype
big
should only
dildo.
sell for about, yeah. Well, the proto should only sell for like about 35, $50, right? And somebody had it for like 300, and everybody talked about how no one was buying the Funko dildo. The the old Steely Dan was just not making it. I listened to something about Steely Dan. Are they really a band if they just like studio musicians, basically on cocaine or meth?
Well, I mean, yeah. They are one of the cornerstones of yacht rock, if for what it's worth. I did go see what's left of them last year with Jack.
Okay,
It was a little weird because there's really only two guys that are technically Steely Dan. It's Becker and Fagan,
right.
and Becker's
Mhm.
dead. So then they shoved Fagan out into the front of the stage behind his organ, and he's a creepy little Morlock on a good day. It's like Ray Manzarek with no personality on the keyboard. And like Ray Manzarek it's like Ray Manzarek crossed with Ray Charles because he's got that kind of thing going. And yeah, I mean, they were still good, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. He got the best musicians he could find to play the songs to cash the check. It's what they've always been. So, are they a band? Yeah,
Okay. Just
in the
checking.
loosest sense of the term, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. They are a constant source of irritation to my wife because I will listen to some of their stuff. I like some of their stuff, a lot of their stuff, and and Jack does too, thanks to me. And and she hates them. So we'll drop a kid's Charlemagne on it and our my old school, and it really annoys the shit out of my wife, which makes it even better.
Whenever I want to do that, I do Billy Joe's Zanzibar. I've got the old man's car.
Good Lord.
I've got a jazz guitar. I've got a tab at Zanzibar. If you need me, that's where I'll be.
That's where I are. That's only thing that worked with the rhyme scheme. That's where I are.
Every now and again, it just gets
Pirate says
into my head. Our pirate says R. That's Zanzibar. And it's so one of my friends, Brian's a huge Billy Joel fan. And for a while, Sirius XM had the Billy Joel channel. And maybe we talked about this during the
Right.
Sammy Hagar stuff. You know, I always wondered.
We did.
That,
go ahead.
yeah, because what would he sound like if you remix some of the songs? But then you listen to interviews from the band, and it's like, no, man, that part's written, and you really don't riff on that part. Yeah, like you doing this, you don't riff on that part. And yeah. It's like in this song, you don't riff on that part. You're like, okay, I got it. Billy Joel's a control freak, and you're not allowed to riff on his songs.
So Billy Joel and Donald Fagen have a lot in common then. So see, is Billy Joel a band? Is Steely Dan a band?
Billy Joel is not a band. He is a something.
Very lucky Italian dude from Staten Island. Let's just be honest.
With the vocal range that goes from here to here.
He's got the vocal range of Stallone's acting ability.
Oh yeah, it's that nuanced.
Yeah, Connor and I watched Cobra the other night, and it was like, oh my god, this is. I had never seen it all the way through, believe it or not, and I'm like, for a mid '80s Stallone movie, this is bad. And I'll watch it because
that's the one that like starts with him putting on the gloves
on Netflix. Yeah, he's driving around in like the '50s coupe. Yeah, nothing about it's realistic at all. Yeah,
the opening gun porn shot where he's like cleaning the gun, putting on the I remember. I've never seen beyond that.
Yeah, well, there's this whole like hostage taking sequence in a supermarket where, of course, he comes in and starts blowing shit up, and Grease is the guy, and there's a satanic cult, and Brigitte Nielsen is in it because he was married to her at the time. And I did a little reading up after we watched it. It was like they were behind schedule and off budget because apparently they couldn't get Sly and Brigitte out of the trailer. So
creepy.
That might explain. Yeah, another visual you really want. 86 maybe. 2023 not at all. But I had watched Samaritan the night before on Netflix, and I was kind of in a Stallone mood, and Connor wanted to watch a movie, and Laura was out of town, so I was like, Samaritan had potential.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because I was looking to like just hate on it, and it wasn't terrible. Although you kind of figured out, I don't know.
At some point, twist was like, not a twist. Yeah,
no, because you're like, oh yeah, he's the bad guy.
Oh yeah, he's yeah. It was like, oh no, it was so obvious. They telegraphed that way too early. Yeah, spoilers, by the way.
It's a Netflix movie.
He's not the Samaritan.
You're not spoiling anything.
Yeah, no. Anybody who's going to watch that movie's already seen it. Yeah, it was okay. It was what it was. I mean,
yeah,
it's a good concept. It just wasn't a great movie. It was okay. It was a good way to, have some noise in the background while I folded clothes. That's about what it was good for.
Yes, that's exactly right. It's background fodder. I think I was paying bills while I was watching it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you kind of look up, you're like, oh, he's the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, they're being way too delicate as they tiptoe around that. There's no way. Anyway,
You're not
any
fooling
mistake
nobody.
you made was thinking I was the good guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you keep calling me the good guy. And apparently he had some sort of like as a child it was when his mother delivered him, they squeezed his head too hard with the forceps. It's not an affectation. That's really
Yeah.
how the man talks. I didn't know that.
Yes, I remember. I saw that in an interview. But yeah.
Yeah.
So Samaritan, not good. But getting back to the Billy Joel Zanzibar, because I always I'm obsessed with it because they're like, yeah, Phil Ramone, he said like do a song about a guy who hangs out at a sports bar, and you're thinking, why is he taking a jazz guitar to a sports bar in the old man's car? And then they have that ridiculous sax solo in the middle, and you're like, oh, he's at a
It is
jazz
Billy
club.
Joel song.
I know, and it's like, oh, he's at a jazz club, and they're like, no, then why is he singing about Babe Ruth or the Dodgers or the Yankees? And you're just kind of like, I'm so confused. I'm going to open a tab at Zanzibar and just drink myself silly and wait for her to give me the sign as I go to second base or whatever the damn lyrics are.
And all of a sudden it segues into a Meatloaf song.
I always think that because there is the one where he's like, I'm going if she'll just give up the sign, and you do kind of flash over.
Holy cow!
Holy cow, he's
Look
going
at that
for a
kid
second.
go.
Oh!
He's going in head first in the third.
Stop right now!
They didn't tell Phil Rizzuto what the song was going to be when they got him to record the play-by-play, and he was apparently very unhappy when he heard the song.
Oh, so they actually had it. It wasn't they sampled it. That was
no. They had him come in and record I guess they gave him a
little script.
Yeah, and like go for it, Phil. And he called it looked legit, and then they spliced it together with the heaving and the hawing and the. And Scooter was not happy when he heard the end result.
That's funny.
That's a good story. I love that story. Oh. So, did you see Quantum Mania?
I have not seen Quantum Mania. We were
all right.
going to see it, and my daughter was like, well, I want to see Cocaine Bear. And we're like, you want to see Cocaine Bear? Well, you're 18.
Laura said that to me, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Like I said, you're 18.
Okay, well,
go for it.
Yeah. Well, I finally did see Wakanda Forever, or most of it, the other night when I was on my business trip, because I just sat down to knock it out. And like I said, I saw most of it. I fell asleep sort of in the middle.
Hey.
It was.
What'd you think?
It was too damn long. 2.5. I mean, I know they had to do the whole first 30 minutes, saying goodbye to T'Challa. I get that, but even then, it was too long. The part excuse me, I think I fell asleep during the obligatory CGI fight scene, so I missed that part. Okay. But I saw everything up to that, and there are a lot of moving pieces. It was kind of like 2 or 3 script treatments they kind of wedged together, because there was the whole we got to get Ironheart in here, and then we got the whole thing where we're setting up Julia Louis-Dreyfus to run the Thunderbolts over here, and we got Namor now, and we got to set up all that, and we got to figure out how to get ourselves out of the corner we painted ourselves into by destroying the heart-shaped herb. It was a lot of things going on. It wasn't very cohesive.
Oh, see, I actually thought they did a decent job with that stuff.
Okay. Well, maybe because I was tired. Thank you.
No, I mean, it is a lot that they did, but I didn't feel like any parts of it were forced. But necessarily, it never felt like everything. Yeah, I thought you could have left out Ironheart completely and been fine. And you could have done it you could have really just done it with Wakanda basically telling the French Foreign Legion to fuck off,
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't hate any of the parts. It just seemed like there were a lot of parts moving.
No, they did a lot with it.
There was a lot of table setting and outside of the straight through narrative of the story, which is one of the problems with the Marvel movies. I think at this point, there's so much table setting going on around the main through line that sometimes it gets a little muddled. I don't know. That's just my thought.
No, I mean, that's like we talked about how Hawkeye is the best because it's not doing any lifting.
Yeah.
And I think even Moon Knight was decent. It didn't have any lifting. I didn't watch Miss Marvel.
I didn't watch that one either. Apparently, there was some lifting in that one. I think
probably got to prop up Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was better than the first one, and I haven't seen Quantumanian yet. So,
all right. Well, I won't ruin that for you. I will just say it does some lifting, but it works, at least in my opinion. I can't say too much because I don't want to ruin something for you. But I do want to, because I can say this without ruining anything for you. After I saw it, there's a fan theory online, and I'm not a big fan of fan theories, but this one actually I loved, and it fills in a huge gap. So, like, you know how all these, since Endgame, all the Marvel properties kind of seem to be operating untethered from one another. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, no one has mentioned the Celestial from the Eternals at all, right? There's this giant space robot that's frozen, and someone's mentioned that. Yeah. Someone posed, because they've been leaning so hard on the multiverse, that all these movies are taking place in different universes, and that's why there's no connectivity. And I'm like, now that would be smart.
That would be smart.
And you could then pull characters from different universes when you're starting to do something else. I mean, you got Shang-Chi over here on his world. You got the Eternals over here on this other one. You know, I'm like, that's, as fan theories go, I think that one's got some interesting potential, especially with, Kang in play now.
So then my question to you is, does Ant-Man and the Wasp in any way set up a Micronauts film?
Not directly, but it certainly could. I kept waiting to see Bug show up, and I'll ruin that for you. He doesn't. I was a little disappointed.
Damn it!
I thought that was such an easy get for that. It was such
for Bug.
He's an original character. He could have been in it. Yeah. No, sorry. That's not happening.
I'm not interested.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry.
Because
I will say,
I was watching
I said it last.
Because like they could set up the microverse, but yeah. Anyway, knowing that
I said it last time
happened.
Yeah, they'd have to relicense all that, or buy it outright. At this point, I guess they could do that.
How hard could that be?
You know two things: animation and toys. That's right in your wheelhouse. I said last time I thought Jonathan Majors was going to be a huge star, and in the last 3 weeks I've seen him in Quantumania and Creed 3. Dude is amazing. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, Michael B. Jordan already is, in my opinion, and he stood toe to toe with Michael B. Jordan, and they could do a spinoff of Creed about his character, and I'd go see it. So,
okay.
Anyway, although they may have already done that with the movie Penitentiary, but that's just another story. Sorry.
With that guy,
spoilers.
Looks like Sugar Ray Leonard a little bit, but bigger fro. That guy,
Leon Isaac Kennedy.
There we go.
I think I've seen all of the Penitentiary movies, and that's hours of my life I'll never get back. I love a good boxing movie. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm good with that. So we're doing leadership training at work. I'm only doing this, and I hate it. Just to get that out there, I'm really not enjoying it.
Because is this training you were undergoing a month ago? Is it still continuing?
Oh, it's a whole year. Oh, and
no.
And they gave us a reading assignment, and it's a book, and it's like the 4 keys to this, and then each of the 4 keys has 3 or 4 bullet points underneath it. And I'm only doing it because, like, I've got the reading here on my desk and was doing it before we came on. And it's like the 7 signs you're a good this, the 10 signs you're a good like. It's like, fuck. They went and they cut up like every Cosmo episode for the surveys. 10 questions to find out if he's cheating on you. Are you a good leader? Here's 10 things to ask yourself.
And the whole class is based around listicles.
Yes, yeah, yes.
Oh,
It feels that
my.
way some days.
Oh,
I mean, the whole I was asked, it's like, what do you think? I go, it's kind of shotgun. It's like, okay, you have to change. Okay, great. We have to change. And here's 5 different ways that you can manage change. Hey, here's the thought. You're in charge of the class. Why don't you narrow it down to the better one? So for an hour, you sit here in a video call while some guy launches bullet points at you. And I may have made this joke last time. It's easier to be an alcoholic because there's just 12 steps and they don't change.
you did, because then that's how we ended last time. I threw my Eddie Rabbit joke at the end. Yeah. That is right. Yeah. No, you're right though. I mean, there's nothing worse than like bullet point training. It's just, it's late. We should come up with our own list and become consultants. I mean, if we could do that.
It shouldn't be hard. You just need 4 pillars, 4 truths. Have 4 truths. And to each truth, there needs to be, 10 or 12 subsections.
We could really set ourselves apart and do a rhombus.
Ooh, the leadership rhombus. The rhombus rumba. Dance your way to
the reorganization rhombus.
The reorg rhombus, yes.
That's copyright 2023 Slurp Toast. Thank you.
Goddamn right, yeah. If we find you people copying us,
we are litigious. Just bear that in mind.
Yes. Not afraid of court. Not afraid of you. Not afraid of your lawyers.
I have my own. We have one.
That's right.
We have in-house counsel.
There we go. So flashback to your days of fighting unemployment claims.
One of my favorite things of all time.
We had a guy who got hurt.
Okay.
3 or 4 years ago. And he continues to find ways to reopen his claim. And so now after 3 or 4 years of this, they're finally getting to the point of just saying, what's it going to take to make you go away? So they made him an offer. He rejected the offer. He went to the courts, and our lawyer told us that, yeah, he'll do this, hoping to get a really liberal, plaintiff friendly lawyer so he can get more money. And she goes, well, we're not sure where it stands. He pulled, Judge X, who is the most conservative judge on the, or the most, defendant friendly. And so they think that they get to challenge that once, and they may, like reach into the bag on Price is Right. No, Bob, take my chip and grab another one.
It's always fun when that shit backfires on them too. I'm not going to lie.
Well, this guy, this is one of the first depositions I sat in on, and he had hurt his shoulders. And, he's sitting there, he's telling the judge, he's like, well, on my shoulders, and if I hold my arms up, I get numb, and, it's affecting my ability to like go out and play with my kids. And then this is how he kind of goes. He's like, and then, it's also affected, relations, with my wife. So there's that. And then nobody actually responded to it. I didn't look up. My attorney didn't say anything. His was sitting there like answering her own emails, right? So I asked the
Jeez.
attorney afterwards, I go, so is it common for guys to try that? She goes, men try it all the time. They think it'll get them sympathy. I go, does it work? She's like, nope.
Loss of consortium, it's called.
So, yes. He just couldn't have, you know,
He couldn't have consortium.
couldn't have consortium. No consortium on consortium. Consortium.
Oh, oh,
So yeah,
man.
that's the part of the job I just totally dig is
I used to
now that
love
I work,
hoisting them on their own petards, man. There was nothing like it.
it is fun to watch. We had somebody who like got into a car accident, right? And damaged a car to the tune of, I think it $15,000, right? And so the
Wow.
company said, yeah, it's totaled the car. Basically said, well, here's 25,000. That'll take care of your car. She comes back. I want $500,000. And so our lawyer's like, we'll give you 25. And they're like, you just watch CaseNet. Lawsuit's coming, buddy. We're like, okay. Because you
Whatever.
have to, burden of proof is on you. You got to produce $500,000 of medical bills.
Right. I used to work for a
Yeah.
plaintiff lawyer. They can be facilitated.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Well, we had one case where the plaintiff's attorney wrote us a letter we're going to sue you for X number of dollars. And the courts are very, very sympathetic to plaintiffs, and it'll exceed your, it'll
Deductible.
exceed your liability. And our
Yeah.
lawyer is like, he's going to ask if you received that letter. I go, did I? She goes, did you? I'm like, yeah, you sent it to me. She goes, he's going to ask if you received it, and you answer, what do you want me to say? Oh. So anyway, sorry, just digressed.
That's all right. I'm opening up my what's on your desk.
Ah, cool. Oh, Howard the Duck. Yes.
I haven't opened
I
it
had
yet.
that in my hands one day at Target, and I just kind of walked back and forth. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Not today.
I saw it. I picked it up. I put it in the basket. Laura looked at me and I said, I'm taking this home. Thank you.
Moral imperative.
Exactly. I'm digging the new packaging. It's pretty easy to open up.
Oh, cool.
All right, so let's see. And then they come individually wrapped in these little like animal cracker bags.
Never seen one of these unboxed because everybody's afraid to fuck up the box.
I don't.
That's kind of fun.
I used the old knife, slice the tape. It's not that hard, kids.
What?
Yep, that's a winner. Oh, his arms are articulated. Look at that.
Nice.
That's a good duck.
Any accessories?
Yes.
Obviously a cigar.
No.
Paul Rudd's head in a jar.
Paul Rudd's head in a jar right here. Hang on. Again, they're all individually wrapped. Paul Rudd's head in a jar.
Nice.
The jar comes off of Paul Rudd's head. Either that or mine's broken. I don't know which.
It'll never age that way.
It's true. He can run
Like
for
the real
president.
Paul Rudd. It'll never age.
Fucking demon of some sort. Can you see
That's
Howard?
cool.
That's very cool. Put Howard right
There we go. Yeah, you can put him in with the monkeys.
there. Yeah. Oh, wait. There's the Build-A-Figure piece.
So whose arm did you get?
I got a torso.
Ooh. Or?
Khonshu.
Oh, nice.
It is very cool. I would actually buy the pieces to make Khonshu. I had that skull around here somewhere. I don't know where it went. Yeah, so Khonshu's body.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah. So that's what's on my desk this week. Oh, and here's the box opens up very neatly. Look, piece of tape here, piece of tape here. Pop it open, slide it out. I don't know what the big deal is. Then you throw it in the
You
trash.
can't see the figure. That the big deal is you can't see the figure.
No, I get that. I was like, that was like I said, the first one of those I've bought since they repackaged them.
Well, I've watched some of those unboxings, and I haven't seen one of those yet. But I'm pretty sure it's like, well, we don't know if we're gonna get good paint or bad paint, and it's just you're gonna get the toy that you want, dude.
Apparently, Paul Rudd's head in a jar is a choking hazard. By the way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yes. Anyway, so I've been sitting on that until we record it again because
That's pretty cool. So
It's at
we'll
least-
do
cooler than the movie.
then the
Howard the Duck movie.
that was bad.
It was. We saw it in a theater.
Mm-hmm.
No, that is a good looking figure. I like that a lot.
Every
Little-
now and again, they
little-
they knock them out. They got
Little
little
web
peg holes.
feet, little peg holes, little web feet. Sporting his little 3-piece suit. His fedora.
Very nice.
It is the Seth Green version of Howard for whatever. So it's life size.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm moving the monkeys.
All right. I will go to the thing that is desk adjacent then.
All right, what you got?
So Lego made the Starry Night kit, which is
Mhm.
this 3-dimensional, and I've got that on the actually sits on the desk behind the computers, so I always looking at Starry Night.
Nice.
But like one of my all-time favorite pieces of art is Hokusai's The Great Wave.
Oh wow.
So this is what they. There we go.
Is that all Lego?
All Lego, baby.
That's amazing.
Frame and all.
The frame is Lego too?
Oh yeah, the whole thing is Lego.
Oh wow.
And so you've got a little 3-dimensionality there.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Now, so how many of those like great works of art that you can do in Lego are there? I mean, you've mentioned Starry Night and that one. Are there
those
others?
are the only two I've seen. And I have them. They do. You could do Jackson Pollock. It's just random
Pieces of
whatever they
Legos.
call the dots. Yeah, just random dots.
You
I
could
don't
do
know
the
how
random
many they could
shapes
do.
and everything else. You could just throw random Legos on a base.
Yeah, I don't know how many they are going to do. We saw that at Target, and Kristen's like, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "I go, I'm going to get it eventually. Yes, it doesn't have to be today." She goes, "There's only one on the shelf," and it was like, "Fine, put it in the cart."
Twist my arm.
Twist my arm. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I've seen some people who have like Lego ideas done like Van Gogh's sunflowers, where some they were actually kind of 3-dimensional. Those might be kind of cool. My one gripe about the Starry Night piece is that it comes out too far. It extends out away from the frame, like about 2.5 inches.
So there's a risk of pieces getting knocked off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if they and it's like they even added like a whole bunch of houses behind one of the trees, that aren't in the painting.
All right.
So you look
Artistic
at it,
license.
a little artistic license. So I look at it and go, I understand you have to kind of build that up, but I think you probably could have, because this one only extends out like 2 or 3 bricks out past the frame.
Right.
So it's
I could
very
tell.
self-contained. And it's just, I mean, it was a fun build. I enjoyed, putting it together and all that stuff. And I can't wait to get it up on the walls. So, people
Very
come
cool.
home to have that fine Lego art, because that's what I do. And of course, when I'm bored, I actually, in minifigures, make different artists. So
Wow.
so we have Jackson Pollock here,
Right.
the little drunk face, Pablo Picasso. These two I'm very proud of. And that's Frida Kahlo and her boyfriend Diego Rivera.
Right. Right.
Good
I
luck
see the
finding that
unibrow.
little that the unibrow on one, and then the really drunk looking thing. Here's my
See-
Van Gogh,
right. Nice.
Salvador
Salvador.
Dali,
Agree.
Magritte. Yeah, guesses?
Warhol.
You got it. Piet Mondrian.
Okay. I wouldn't have gotten
Uh,
that one, but okay.
this one here
Rasputin.
is no, it is Rasputin. Michelangelo, who looks like
Oh,
Rasputin.
it's true.
Uh, modern glass artist Dale Chihuly,
Wow.
Giacometto. Whoops.
You broke him.
Oh yeah, a little drunkard Toulouse-Lautrec with little stubby half legs.
Wow. So your college education did not go to waste.
No, there's even Banksy
Where?
right
Oh,
there.
nice. Nice. I thought you were just saying that and he wasn't actually there.
No, yeah, exactly. And then of course over on this group, these are kind of just miscellaneous. We've got Monet, Manet, Day of the Dead, Bob Ross, Tolstoy. This is the writer's block.
And you got Hunter
Here,
there.
you want to guess this one?
Hunter S.
That's a gimme.
That's the bacon. That's
No,
bacon.
yeah, that's right. And I think I found the pieces to do Oscar Wilde.
From the Faye playset.
Yeah, so I will do
That's
my
awesome,
own
dude.
on my own set of minifigures. The Warhol one was fun. I found the hair and then I kept putting like heads on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally go, you know what? It's Warhol. And I found just a peg that's undersized from a minifigure head, just like a yellow brick or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Plopped that head on it and was like, doesn't even need a face. It's Warhol.
Too bad you couldn't find a soup can for a head.
Damn it! I'm gonna look now. You know, they do
This is
those
what I'm
home
here
kit-
for. I'm the bad angel. I'm the devil on your shoulder. We've established that.
Oh man, because I'm trying to figure out. I would like to do Gustav Klimt, who did like the gold, the kiss, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Oscar Wilde is on there. I could do a Twain, Mark Twain. Here's the funny part. There's like Whistler, Stieglitz, because I thought if I did Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera, I should do Georgia O'Keeffe and Stieglitz. Georgia O'Keeffe, I could do a Demogorgon thing that looks like a vagina and put a cowboy hat on it and a skirt.
Nice.
But Stieglitz, Mark Twain, and Whistler all look the same. It's like they all have the same hair.
So you
You're like,
once you figure it out, you just repeat it twice.
yeah, exactly. You sit there going, how do I say that this is that guy? When
I'm willing to
Pollock
bet no one's
is-
going to argue with you.
the Pollock was fun because I did the Lego cop one that has like the scribbled on eyes. I was like, he was a drunk. It makes sense.
It's a little splattery.
A little splattery. Yeah.
That's funny. Those are awesome, dude. I'm
Thank you.
impressed.
Yes, it's one of my many hobby excursions that like goes off into the weeds.
I'm familiar with your work, as you know. I'm not surprised that this is happening.
So at work, I actually, I don't know why. I've been working on. I drew a picture of Van Gogh, just out of the blue. It's like I'm going to draw Van Gogh today because I need a break. So I drew this little picture of Van Gogh. And for Slurp Shop, I'm actually preparing another batch of like T-shirt designs to upload.
Okay, cool.
I'm calling them quotables, and where I find sort of a semi-ridiculous quote from a famous person, you know.
Mhm.
So I found one by Abraham Lincoln that says people complain you look bad in a photograph. Well, sometimes that's just how your face looks. And you sit there, you read something like that, you're like, no, he didn't say that. Well, so I, cross connect them. Um, but for Van Gogh, I found a quote that just said, you find stuff that's like embellish the vague or make the, it's something weird. But I found one that just said, "The sunflower is mine."
That's awesome.
So I've got this, kind of sad, mopey looking Van Gogh with the quote next to him, "The sunflower is mine." And because
That's
it's actually
awesome.
this, yeah, the sentence is, "The sunflower is mine, comma, in a way." I just left out "in a way," and "the
Well,
sunflower is
yeah,
mine, dot, dot, dot."
that's how quotes work.
Uh-huh. Uh, and I thought the only thing I could do better for that would be draw Van Gogh with like a knife in his hand. Um,
A
as
bloody
if he
knife.
was, "The sunflower is mine and he's going to take you out for
Shank
it."
you. That'd be good. That would be good. It works on a
So
lot of
yeah,
levels.
it would work on a lot of levels. So this, the idea is I may try and find more fun quotes from artists and just do little one-off illustrations.
I like it.
Uh, yeah, I'd wear a T-shirt Van Gogh that says, "The sunflower is mine."
For sure. For
I'd
sure.
wear that to a goddamn museum.
You'd probably get a lot of questions about where it can be purchased too.
I think you might.
Go to a freaking Van Gogh exhibit and just watch the money roll in.
Yeah. Where'd that shirt come from? Is that in the lobby? No, it's online.
Here's a card. QR
Here's a
code.
card.
Bleep. I can I borrow your hashtag this weekend? We're
Culture
going to
bitches, where are you going?
we're going to New Orleans.
Fun. Fun,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I discovered today there's an Ignatius Riley statue on Canal, which I will be taking my picture with.
Hell to the yeah.
It's right at Canal in Bourbon, man. And I had to
Oh,
explain to
hell.
my 19-year-old son who that was and why I wanted to take a picture with a statue of a fictional character. I'm like, it's just got to be done.
Mongoloid Esquire.
I'm like, you should read that book. In fact, now I'm thinking I'm going to reread that book, and I don't do that very often. But I think after a few days in New Orleans and a picture with the statue, the book will be coming off the shelf next week.
I think so. Yes, and beware that mink off. Myrna
Yeah,
Minkoff. There we go.
that's it. That's it. Yeah, the boys have never been to New Orleans, so we're going to take the family trip to New Orleans and pray for all of our safe return because I can't guarantee it
Oh.
with those two knuckleheads. Um,
Hey, have
tell
you
you
seen
you
any?
can't go down that alley. You can't go down that alley. Okay, this is not
No
San
matter.
Diego. They're not friendly.
No, they're not friendlies. Yeah. Have you seen anything about hotels for Comic Con yet?
No, I've not. I've been keeping an
Okay,
eye
good.
out for it.
Okay,
I've not. They
good.
were pushing WonderCon pretty hard.
And I figured that once WinterCon's over, then they'll
Yeah,
probably,
that was
hopefully,
my thinking.
move on.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, it's a crapshoot. You just you don't. It's not like you sign up for the hotel the first day. You put in your application and hope for the best, and then they contact you and say, "Hey, want to stay at the Hilton Baymont or Bayfront?" And you go, "Yes, please."
Yes. No walking. Yes, please.
I stayed at the Hyatt Grand Hyatt down there one
That's the
year.
one right next to the convention center where we
So if
saw
Hilton's
the
on one side, because you got
Hilton's the
Hilton,
one. Hilton's the one where we always just do the press stuff.
right? The Grand Hyatt. It's where Funko has fun days,
Okay.
and I managed to get in there one year.
Well, that made
And I
it nice
mean,
for you.
oh my God, it was wonderful. You go to the event, you go back to your room and use the bathroom, not a public toilet like a peon. And then you drop off your stuff, you go back to the lobby and drink some more with your friends.
Nice.
That actually was very nice. Little pricey, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was nice to be able to just basically walk down in the morning and then just walk over. It was,
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
I mean, like staying at the Hard Rock would be like that,
Yeah,
or any of those right there
right
across
there on
from.
the yeah. Any one of those would be cool.
So I'm thinking that hopefully they'll do it, and if you and I get in there and get a bunch of browsers open,
Yeah,
we could put in, and then if one of us gets a good hotel, we'll just do whatever we need to do at that
yeah,
point.
for sure. Yeah, old men and their CPAPs at Comic-Con. It's coming to a podcast near you soon. I went to I went to Tampa this week for a work conference, and that was the first time I traveled like on a plane with the CPAP, so that was fun. And
Gotta take
probably
it out.
well, they didn't make me take it out.
Nice.
Either
Nice.
way, I'd like one way. Surely someone I didn't even think about it when I was leaving Austin. I was like, I didn't even think about it. It was in my backpack
Mhm.
and nothing. On the way back, I'm like, these guys will catch it. Nope.
Did you see, like I actually bought like a lunch sack, an insulated lunch sack that I can break it all down and put it into, and it basically ends up being only like, about the size of half a loaf of bread.
I put it in the case it came with and just threw the mask and a Ziploc and threw it on top of it. And my, that big backpack I have,
Okay. Okay.
it's that case slotted right perfectly into one of those pockets. And so it was actually the right size. But I did think about what you told me that. And I was like, maybe if I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling with it, that's the way to go. But, I wasn't that ambitious this time. And then like I said, I fell asleep watching Wakanda Forever, and I hadn't bothered to set it all up before I went to bed, or before I sat down to the movie. And then I woke up and I'm like, "Oh, to hell with it!" And man, I knew I wasn't wearing it. That's the first time I was like, "Oh," I kept waking up and like, "Oh yeah, okay." So the next day I was like, "Let's get this set up now." Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I had my annual visit with the
I like pulmonariist. I like that a lot.
pulmonarist. Yeah. Sounds like he tells the future. Um, but anyway, these appointments are 15 minutes max. And this time I decided to time it. So I walk into his office at like 2 minutes till my appointment time. I walked out 14 minutes later.
Wow.
You go
Was
in,
it like you're still wearing it? Yep. Okay. See you next
how you
year.
sleep? Sleeping good. What do you like it? No, I hate it still, doc. Really? You're gonna have to get over that. I don't think I do. Well,
I like breathing, and I like sleeping. We can leave it there.
yeah, but I hate wearing a scuba mask to bed.
Yeah, I think that's what it was the other night when I woke up from my nap and realized I hadn't set it up. And I got up and I took it out of my backpack and I opened up the case and I went, "To hell with this tonight. I'm not." And then yeah,
Mhm. Went to a safety breakfast because we won an award for safety. And at the beginning of the meeting, they're like, okay, I just want to go over a few safety things for us. Just in case anybody is wondering where the AED is. And I'm sitting next to our safety director. And I look over at him. I go, right here, Dave. AED is right here. because it doesn't do anybody any good. I go, does me a world of good. The rest of y'all are on your own.
BYOAED.
BYOAD. Every now and again, a doctor will take, they do the breathe deep, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So I'm sitting there once, and the doctor landed the stethoscope right on top of the pacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of went, because she goes, breathe in. And you could tell there was this panic because there was no heartbeat. No breathing sounds, no heartbeat. I mean, she landed right on top of it.
Are you a ghoul or a zombie?
I'm a revenant.
I told the boys we were going to take we're going to get off of 10 in Lafayette and take 90 to New Orleans because A, I want to take the Dave Robichaux route, and B, they both just watch True Detective, so I'm like, we'll get a True Detective feel if we go that way, and I won't have to deal with the Basin Bridge and all that nonsense.
There you go.
So,
Go through
yeah.
on the airline highway.
Yeah.
And now, if this was a Robichaux book, this is 2 sentences.
Yeah. Exactly.
Jumped on the airline highway.
Rolling into the big sleazy.
Rolled into the big sleazy. I jumped on airline and made my way to Lafayette.
Past
Dude,
all the
that's a
hot pillow
45-minute
joints.
drive.
Past all the hot pillow joints and the spirits of the boys in butternuts.
And the ghosts of all the crime, all the rich people in New Iberia I've put in the ground.
They haunt me
They
as I'm
haunt me.
chewing on the ice in my Dr. Pepper with cherries and an orange.
Just like whatever Big Mac or whatever his dad was called, Big Row, or working the oil rigs in the swamp and cutting through the islands.
And the rig went down and took him with him. And yeah. And I got a three-legged raccoon. The end.
There you go.
Sorry.
I was telling somebody about how you and I read. Me and a buddy of mine, we read the same detective books, and every now and again we just kind of riff in the style of one of the books. And so the smell of the spring and the storm on the swamp and the bream mating in the pond and the bougainvilleas and the
fish
sweet honey
spawning downstream.
Yeah, the bream are always spawning. That's what they do. They go up to New Iberia.
Shadows on the cypress over to Bayou Teche.
And Cleet comes over and we put sand in everybody's gears.
Come on, nobleman. It's the Boston Twins from this first district. Full tilt boogie, baby.
I was trying to explain the math in a Spencer novel. I go, he's a veteran of the war. And they're like, Afghanistan? I'm like, Korea. Like, so how old is it? Because they were talking about the Mark Wahlberg movie, right? Well, the book he's based on, he was a Korean war vet. And he's like, well, that'd make him like, I know, 75, 80 years old. We've done the math, which means that Henry that runs the Durham is like 110.
Yeah, when we realized Spencer was my dad's age, that was when the magic was going.
And Belson and Quirk, the worst cops ever. They've been on the force for 40 years and never promoted.
Well, it's because Spencer always solves their cases for them.
True. And that gay DA who works for the state, he's always got shit going on.
I want a Cholo book. Oh wait, he's dead.
What was the one where they brought the wall? It was like
it was 6 Kill.
6 Kill.
Yeah,
it was like the 7 Samurai.
All the killers that Spencer knows.
Hawk,
came to protect his shot up ass
against the gray man. Wasn't that it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
So we should be more specific. It was every like racial stereotype tough guy.
That's true.
Hawk and Cholo and the gay cop from the DA's office.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they all talked around in tough guy cliches. It was this far above a Stallone movie.
It was The Expendables. It really was.
The 7 Expendables. The Magnificent Expendables. Lee Van Cleef and James Coburn.
Ernest Borgnine.
Charles Bronson playing a Mexican Indian.
Carl Malden, for reasons no one understands.
That's right. Wasn't he like the slick gunslinger, like the Leonardo? God. Oh yeah, God, I forget.
Oh Jesus God. Jesus.
It's a bad setup.
It's terrible. Have you ever read The Authority? The comic?
Oh no, I have not. I
grabbed one of those yesterday. I was looking for something to read, but I read a whole Elmore Leonard, by the way, on my trip. It was a collection of short stories, so that was a quick read. But I really hope Warren Ellis keeps up with his drug dealer on a regular basis, because don't know what he's smoking, but that's some weird shit, man.
He and Grant
And then-
Morrison are freebasing off each other's dicks.
Well, there's a visual I never needed to have.
No doubt you do.
Oh, and I can't unsee that. But here's the funny thing. So the first collection, Ellis created this concept. He did it with Brian Hitch, right? So
Okay.
pretty trippy narrative. Hitch's art is pretty straightforward. I mean, relatively speaking, right?
Got it.
So volume 2, I grabbed that after dinner before I came in here. Apparently, Ellis handed it off to Mark Miller or Millar. I'm never sure how to pronounce it.
Oh, good. So it got a little of the ultra violence in it.
and Quietly's doing the art. It's like I'm looking at that going, well, that doesn't even look like remotely the same characters. This ought to be interesting. We're going from the esoteric British, shaman to the Droogs here. This ought to be good.
So everybody looks puffy and kind of
And they don't have weird hair.
weird hair, weird mouths. They all look like puckers. It's just
It's like John Romita Jr.'s art like melted, like it was a candle and melted.
and just left behind fine scratches.
Yes. I don't hate his artwork. It's just so different from Hitch to read them like back to back.
That is
like,
a huge switch of
both writer and artist. I mean, it's
a whole new book.
Yeah, it really kind of is. It really kind of is. So I haven't started that volume 2 yet, but I will after you and I are done. I'll let you know.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
I opened it up and I'm like, oh my, because there was like a splash page of the Superman analog, and it's like head and chest, and he's like sun rays coming off of his face, and it's all quietly in there. I'm like, okay, this doesn't even look the same. All right.
Yeah, I like Quietly's art.
Yeah, I do too. I'm not knocking it. It's just
but if you haven't seen it before, you're going to be kind of like, it's weird because it's clean and ugly and beautiful at the same time.
And it might be the perfect art for a Mark Miller story. Millar. Is it
so,
Miller or
yeah.
Millar?
I'm not sure.
I don't either. Well, we're going with Miller.
Well, Romita did kick ass. So
That's true. That might be. Yeah. See, I'm not that far off.
No. And I've always liked Romita's art, his later stuff. His X-Men stuff was kind of because I always felt that he had a really good sense of storytelling. So his art without words actually did a really nice job of kind of telling the story from the different angles and moving your eye around the page.
Yeah.
Not like a Jim Lee line fest.
Yeah, I'm thinking of some of Romita Jr.'s like Daredevil stuff was like that. Like,
very cool.
That stuff is always so frenetic and kinetic. So to be able to like tell the story with it moving, yeah.
And yet it's still fairly clean that you register the action.
Yeah.
I mean, he does little set pieces and kind of stock drawings and stuff. I saw him at Comic-Con last year, and I should have stopped. I didn't. It was before the show opened, so I didn't really feel like I should stop him and, not let him go into the show. But at the same time, I should have just said, "Oh my God, John, you're a big fan of your art. Can I get a quick pic with you before you go in?" And I got in a pic with him and then said, "Thanks, I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Like I said, big fan of your art."
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to come inside and pay you $50 to sign anything.
Oh, it's like that first year we went when I turned around and Frank Miller was standing right behind me.
That was so funny because I tell somebody, I go, here Bruce and I are just walking through the show, and I was like, man, it'd be really cool to like come around a corner and see Art Adams. And we come around a corner and there's Art Adams. So now we're in line to get like something drawn by Art Adams, and Bruce goes, "Oh, it'd be really cool if like Frank Miller walked by." And then this little guy walks up between me and Bruce and says, "Hey, Skeleton, can I squeeze through?" And we're like, "It's Frank Miller."
And you remember we saw Dana Gould, Dr. Z himself that year?
Yes.
For the next episode, let's do some more follows, okay? Start putting
okay, yeah.
I've got a few to add. And so we'll do that next time. And I've got most of your next watch list put together. I'll have that for you next time too.
Cool. I'm ready for the Butler did it. Kristen is like, "Are you really doing this again?" I'm like, "Yeah. Why? Why not?"
Content, baby. Content is king.
It's content is king. Let's go with that.
I'll have it so there's graphics so I can like have a list and we'll just present them. How many do you want? You want 10 or do you want 12? You want 12?
We'll do
12.
I did it.
12
I did
Butlers.
12 days of Liam. I'll do 12 days of Butler.
All right, you got it. I'll have a graphic so I can go, this is your first one, and then I'll just drop them in. Boom, 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 boom.
All right. I will watch them and give them a legitimate review.
And then see them when we get ready to do the conversation around it. Since I know we're doing it, I can have the movie posters in slideshow. Like I did with the Van Halen stuff.
There we go.
Also, I think on our next episode, if I can put it together, we're going to have Chris Smith on to talk about his new book.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I texted him after our last episode, and he said he would love to. I think the book comes out at the end of the month, so I'm going to try and get him on in a couple of weeks when we do the next one, so we'll have another guest.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm curious to talk to him about self-publishing.
I think he'd be better. I think I like John. John's a good guy, but boy, he really just wanted to make his points about wrestling, and there was no getting him off those points.
We will be able to get Chris sidetracked. I have no doubt about that. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
So yeah, we'll get him on next time to talk about his
oil
book.
and gas punk rocker.
Metal is the one true way, man. He's like the Mandalorian of metal. And I think that's how I'm going to introduce him next time, and he won't know it.
The Mandalorian of metal.
Yeah, I need to write that down.
Metal is the way.
So that's all I had. Got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm good. I just a little tired.
All right. Well, we can wrap this up, and you can go to sleep. And then I'm going to edit this and throw it up, and then probably start pre-packing because we leave Saturday morning at like 6 because it's 9 hours from here to New Orleans.
Yuck.
I'm not used to it taking that long to get to New Orleans.
Just it's only two paragraphs, two sentences. I jumped on the airline highway and was back in the 5th district. No. You had to drive through a lot of shit to get there.
You went through Houma and Booty. I looked at the map today. Morgan City. You left New Iberia.
Did I tell you that I'm sitting there, my phone dings, and it's Ann Steffens?
How is Ann?
She was fine. She's fine, but she was in Port Sulphur.
That's where I was born.
I know. She goes. I look down. Ding. Have you ever been to Port Sulphur? And I'm like, no, but Bruce was born there. I go, why are you there?
That's a good. More importantly, is it still there?
Yeah, exactly. I guess she's dating somebody who is, or at the time, was dating somebody who was like into fly fishing, or kind of, and was fishing the Gulf.
Okay.
So that's why she was in Port Sulphur. And I was like, any further east and you are in the Gulf.
I had some real doubts that city still existed after the hurricanes of late.
Well, I think the funny part
was underwater.
Because I wrote to her, I was like, well, Bruce was born there. And she's like, where? Like, I don't know. I think there's a hospital there or something.
There was. I have a birth certificate. I may not be able to get a copy of it anymore, but I have one. But to hear my mom tell it, and this is probably true based on where it is, the hospital was on one side of the river and they lived on the other, and there was a drawbridge was the only way across. So there was some real concern about being able to get to the hospital if and when the time came.
Delayed by a shrimp boat.
The barges were coming through, they were screwed. Lucky I'm not named Forrest.
So yeah, it was just funny. Like out of the blue, and you're just like, I know where it is. How do you? You know,
Wow. Would have asked her to get me a copy of my birth certificate.
I should have asked. Yeah, find it out. Check with him, please.
We need some proof
I
of life
believe
here.
it's filed under his father's name, Big Dave.
Oh wait, that's just what we call him. Never mind.
Big Dave and Mama Jane. That should get you there.
Probably work. It's South Louisiana. It's probably how it's filed.
I think I left that time you were talking about setting up an office in, was it Bro Bridge, where like you called and you could tell that basically they were just handing the phone to each other. You were trying to license one of your medical offices.
Yeah. We
And
did.
it's
Actually,
like-
it was in Broussard. Broussard. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, Big Dave and Mama Jane. They're probably some old ladies. Like, I know them. Oh my God.
How they is,
How they is.
man? How they doing them?
Maddie. Yeah, exactly. I got somebody chastised me for using Come See the other day. Because I needed Frank. I go, Frank, come see. And they're like, could you be a little nicer? I'm like, what? Like, come see. I was
That's
like,
polite.
I go, I went to high school in a place where that was just a colloquialism. It's come see. It means come
Yeah.
here. It doesn't mean anything bad. It's not like you're
Pervert.
demanding that. Yeah, you're not calling them on the carpet. Just, come see.
There's not a comma between the two words.
Yeah, exactly. It's just might actually be one word.
Could be.
If we looked
It
up,
could
it's
actually be a
probably
French word.
French. Yeah.
It probably is.
And so it's COMSUI with
There's
a dot
a-
at the bottom.
Yeah, there's an on top, something on top of the E. I don't know.
Consoir.
Laura said, "What do you want to? Is there anything you want to do on this trip?" I said, "I have two. I want to get a po' boy at Old Time when we're going to Lafayette on the way. That'll be lunch, and on the
Okay.
way back, I want to stop and get a pizza at Dino's. That's all. You can plan the rest of it. I don't care.
Okay then.
That's all I want. I got two things I want: some food I need to eat.
Yeah,
keep my
that'll work.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do a cemetery tour because my goth children want to do voodoo, cemeteries, vampires, all that kind of shit. So so we'll see.
Yeah, this won't be that tourist voodoo. This would be real shit.
It's right.
Papa Shango shit.
The black shit starts coming out of your eyes. You know it's real. Papa Shango shit. That is amazing. Thank you. That is perfect. I think that's how we end.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to do any better than that. All right, that's it. That's
all right.
episode 56. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Hi, everybody. Oh,